Good day and welcome to the Tuesday, April 20th edition of the Islandstats Sports Brief. I'm Earl Baisley. During the referee show last evening, FIFA official Rian Reddix spoke about the universal challenges faced by referees.
As OJ said, it's a universal concern for referees when you just enter in the game. The fans and the behavior of the fans really take a toll on how you operate and on your confidence. So for me, it was a big challenge because you became apprehensive because of the abuse that was thrown at you from the fans. But then as you grow and you develop and you have more confidence in yourself and your ability, what the fans say doesn't really have much of an impact on you any longer. But when you're just starting, it's a big influencer on you as a referee. A lot of referees started and stopped because they could not deal with the abuse and the pressures of the fans. So I think it's a common thing for upcoming referees to negate and to overcome the fans. And once you can do that, those who stay and overcome oftentimes go on to be quite fantastic referees.
Members of the women's national team joined the Girls Play 2 program last night, and each of them spoke about their most memorable match.
Okay, I would say, I don't know if everyone else is going to say this, so I'm going to say it first. The most memorable game for me was when we beat Jamaica, and I feel like everybody's gonna say that, but I'm gonna say it anyway. Because like when we got up 3-2, like you can, whether you were on the field playing or like on the bench or watching or whatever, I feel like you could tell that we were like pushing to the absolute, like we were exhausted to the point where when that whistle blew, like I know Danny, everybody, like we literally dropped. Like we were so there, we were giving our all because like, and I think at that point, that's when we saw, well, for me, that was like a true testament to how much like passion that I had, because like, I think it's easy in a game, like a football game, when one person loses the head or one person's not pulling the weight, it can easily affect the whole team. And I think in that instance, it was clear to see that everyone was like, given 110% because we all wanted to move on, and we were successful and we played very well when we played together, and it was just a great feeling when the whistle blew and we made history. Yeah.
Tiana?
My most memorable game is the Jamaica game as well, because that's the game where we had Leilani and Jaden go off with concussions, like back to back, and those are like two of our strongest players at the time. And so obviously our minds were probably like, oh my gosh, like what are we gonna do now? Obviously the whole team was strong, but then just seeing two players go out, that obviously had a toll on everybody, like are they okay, this and that. And then I had gone on for Jaden and I was playing striker, and I just knew like we gotta make sure that we just keep this ball out, keep it out of our box, make sure that they don't score. And then when we did it, you could tell everybody was like, whoa, like we actually did that. And it was just great, a great feeling.
What about you, Giant? You keep doing it.
My most memorable game, it wouldn't be a game that was like a team game, I would say. It was memorable to me because, it was the Canada game. Let's start with that. It was most memorable to me because, again, we have made history for the women's side. It's the furthest under 17 team have been. It was my first international start, and it was also my first international game back from injury. So I just feel like it's a game I'll never forget.
Okay. All right. And Zakara?
For me, it's definitely the Jamaica game. I remember I was under a lot of pressure, but at the same time, I felt like I was in a zone that I'd never been in before. as in I was motivated and I was so determined. Like when the score was 3-2, I think it was. I remember making like a lot of saves at the end, and it just boosted my confidence, and I felt ready. Like I felt like a whole different person. Like I was just in the zone. And I remember before the match, at the time I was playing overseas at Montfort Academy, and Jody Brown, she plays for Florida State. I remember before the match, she was like, "Oh, you're not going to beat Jamaica," because she's a Jamaican national team player. And I remember just after we won, in my head, I was like, I can't wait to get back to Jody. It was so exciting. And I feel like I'll never forget the moment.
And then?
For me, I actually have like two memorable games, but like I would say for two different reasons. Like for me, it was one of our more recent tournaments in Guyana. It was like my first major like international mistake, and it like in the end, in so many words, it kind of did cause us to lose. And I remember feeling like the team like not come down on me, and like one moment I remember specifically was Koa. She actually like was like really nice to me, which isn't a surprise, you know.
Yes, Daddy.
But like,
why are you bashing me?
She like came over to me and just like reassured me that, you know, everything's gonna be okay. And I really felt like that team support. And like my second game, which is like my most memorable game, like everybody else, was the Jamaica game. Like even when I describe it to people now, it feels the same way. Like I can feel what it felt like that day, and being the captain, and actually the youngest captain there, like in that tournament at the time, it was just like I felt like a lot of pressure. So for us to pull that off as a young team, a history making team, like it was just a feeling that you can't forget. Like we were literally just like sprawled out on the floor. Like you heard the coaches talking about players like Adia, who was literally hop sprinting, whatever that is. Like it was just, everyone was giving their all. Like it was just filled with passion, and just, it was a great game. Like it's a really great game.
King Critchlow and his Watford under-23 teammates defeated Crew Alexander's under-23s 5-1. The official and her UFC LA women's soccer teammates fell behind 2-0 to USC, but they would claw their way back to finish in a 2-2 draw. Jamal Proctor and his Shrewsbury Schools First 11 took on Worcestershire in back-to-back 2020 matches, falling in both matches. In the opening match, Worcestershire won by 86 runs. They batted first. They would score 177 for 3 in their lot of 20 overs. Proctor would return figures of 4 overs, 1 for 31. In reply, Shrewsbury could score only 91 for 8 in their 20 overs. Proctor was the team's top scorer with 20 over 30 deliveries, hitting 1-4. Game 2 saw Worcestershire win by 4 wickets. Shrewsbury was all out for 77 in 18.4 overs. Proctor was out without scoring. Worcestershire then scored 79 for 6 after 16.5 overs, with Proctor returning figures of 1 over, 1 for 5. Alexis Trott and her Towson University women's track and field teammates competed at the Hopkins Loyola Invitational. Trott finished 7th competing in the women's 100-meter dash, clocking a time of 12:86. Trott would then leap 4.90 meters on her way to finishing 9th competing in the women's long jump. Nathan Armstrong represented Pumpkin Lake's men's track and field team at the STC Spring Opener. Armstrong competed in the men's 1,500-meter run, clocking a new personal best time of 4:03.01 to finish 8th overall. 2 hours later, Armstrong will be back to run in the men's open 800-meter race. With 150 meters to go, Armstrong tripped while trying to get on the outside. He would gather himself and finish the final 100 meters strong, clocking a time of 1:59.12, finishing 13th overall. Jim Finnegan and his St. Mary's men's tennis teammates earned their 6th shutout of the season as they defeated Western New Mexico 7-0. At the doubles, Finnegan and his partner picked up the first win for St. Mary's, winning 6-love. In the singles, Finnegan was the second to finish at the number 4 spot, winning 6-2, 6-3 against Rodrigo Mera. Oliver Betshard is ranked 14th on the Southern Texas PGA Junior Golf Tour in Texas. In the boys 11 to 12 age group division, Betshart played in 7 events and has a total of 1,712.50 points. With less than 1 week to go until the start of the SailGP Season 2, the Great Britain SailGP team has unveiled its squad that will race in the Global Sailing Championship in the 2021-2022 season. And that's a look at this Tuesday, April 20th edition of the Islandstats Sports Brief. I'm Earl Baisden.